two are super busy. So thank you. We're so lucky to have Angelica and Harris join us today. You two have a ton of experience in video, and you were doing it, before it was cool, before everybody was talking about it. And it's something that I think a lot of marketers and business owners are talking about today is how do I incorporate video? So just really quick before I introduce you to, I just want to share here a couple slides. So, why are we talking about video today? Why is it so important? We get asked all the time at Postbeam by our clients, like, "Hey, what should we do for video?" And I thought, why not bring two of the experts that I know that that really understand video, so that you can share what you see on a day to day with them. And I know you two are super humble, but you are so knowledgeable on the topic. And yeah, so I think we're really lucky to have you. So, first thing, video equals trust. I feel like trust is harder than ever before, and a lot of people are saying this. It seems like AI is kind of making everyone sound the same. If people are using AI, I would say in kind of a lazy way. If you are using AI, you can use AI in a way that makes your voice a lot more you and makes you sound different. But I think a lot of people are just, maybe it's not a matter of being lazy or not. It's just knowing how to use it properly to make yourself sound uniquely like you. And then the third point is just video showing the people behind the company, right? I think this is something that's so underrated, and you two, I think, have really strong opinions on this that are interesting, is how do we showcase the people behind the company? And I actually pulled some screenshots here from your YouTube channel. So this is the PWL channel. You've got thousands of subscribers there and posting really great educational content, showing people behind the scenes who are at the company. And then here at Jupitrr, I mean, this video alone had over 400,000 views. And video is becoming the new homepage. A lot of people are going to YouTube. At Hoppier, the last company I started, we had used YouTube as a way to differentiate ourselves from competitors because none of the other founders wanted to be on camera. None of the team members wanted to be on camera and show off their expertise. It's difficult to get your customers to tell stories on camera for you. And getting your sales reps to build trust and people at the company before the call, before the sales process, is a cheat code. And these things are really difficult to do, but we're seeing more and more companies now go, hey, these are things that we need to do to stand out. This is something that no one else is doing in our space. We need to do this. Or in some spaces, it's the table stakes now. So without further ado, I'm really excited. We're going to jump into a couple questions. So we have three questions for Harris and Angelica. And so just to introduce Harris and Angelica, we're super lucky to have them. Again, thank you so much. So Harris is a entrepreneur who has achieved a lot in his career so far. He founded his previous company about 10 years ago and is now the co-founder at Jupitrr, where they help business owners and companies generate really amazing video and do the entire process from A to Z. And then we have Angelica, who is joining us, who's the head of brand experience at PWL Capital. And Angelica has overseen PWL and how they've implemented video to be one of the number one channels in their space. And one of the biggest thought leaders in their space in terms of video. So they both bring a ton of really great experience. Thank you so much for joining us. And I want to jump right into it. So from your perspectives, why does video matter more in 2026 than it did 2 or 3 years ago?
Would you
Want
want
to
to
take it
start
first?
first?
Nope.
You can
We're
do
too
first.
polite. Okay, tackle this one. So, why is it, why does video matter more today than it did 2 to 3 years ago? I'm going to give a shout out to all the Gen Zers that have entered the workforce. They started off as interns. They're now, I think Gen Z is up to what, 29? So they're going to start leading social media teams and everything. And I think the message finally is coming across that video is king. So as a millennial, we knew that, but I think as the workforce is shifting, video has shifted. I also, anyone who's been like obviously was around in 2020 saw the explosion of TikTok, and that brought on the clip economy that we're in now, which has made video so important today versus 2 to 3 years ago. TikTok of 2023 is not TikTok of 2026. Businesses B2C, B2B know the value of creating video, connecting with an audience, and how that can lead to revenue. So I think if you're not thinking video and if you're not thinking social media video for your B2B strategy, I think you're losing out because your decision makers are on social media. Your decision makers' teams are on social media. They're watching YouTube. They're watching these videos that can influence the way people decide on their products or services that they're looking for. So it has been an explosion. Again, shout out to Gen Z entering the workforce, leading those teams, and really shouting from the rooftops saying, hey, we need to start making video. It's not just a B2C strategy. So that's where I think this kind of shift has happened in the last 2 to 3 years.
And my take is very similar to yours as well. But I would take another lens. Like Gen Z and like the market penetration is definitely a big point here, and I totally agree with that. At the same time, I would say AI is playing a very big role here. Like AI is making everything so cheap. When you're like on your Instagram, your even LinkedIn, TikTok, whatever, social media, you hear people talking about AI workflows. AI agents. Like it's bombarding us all the time. But the truth is that AI is making everything so cheap these days. Like whatever services you're providing, your website, the product features, if you're a SaaS company, everything is so much cheaper than 2 to 3 years ago because everyone in like a company can vibe code. Like I've got a friend who's working in like a listed company, a big tech company. And these days, they actually just vibe code their own features and they don't buy SaaS sometimes anymore, which is super crazy. When I heard about it, we're like, is SaaS actually dying? Is it really true? But yeah, I mean, like the way you can differentiate from your competitors or any newcomers in the market is to build three things. It's like a triangle, like something like similar things. Like among them is authenticity, trust, and branding. Like these are really important because if everyone doing the same thing, they have your features, they have your expertise, why are you different? And why are like your customers finding you but not them? It's basically they recognize you, they trust you. And video is the single best format out there. And not to mention that the market penetration is growing like 20 to 30% year over year in the past like 5 years. So a bit of math, you can see like 3 years is roughly a double already. So like video is definitely much more important than like you were like in 2 3 years ago.
And maybe you two can talk about like what was when you started, what did people think? Did people think you were crazy for doing video? Was it hard to get buy-in? Was it, I know for, Angelica, like PWL is you're in the financial industry, right? So maybe is it harder to get buy-in in that space?
So for me, I got really lucky. I joined a company that saw the value in content creation. Because we were a smaller firm, we couldn't compete with the larger banks in Canada. My marketing budget is what they spend in a month, right? So we need to be mindful of that, and content creation was the way to do that. Um, you're gonna age me, my God. So when we launched a podcast, podcasting was not a thing. YouTube videos were for the beauty space influencers. But that was kind of cool because when I came in, that was where I took my strategy from, was this influencer strategy. So it was totally different than what we're doing today. I remember looking up equipment for our podcast, and I was looking up, funny enough, videos on YouTube of like professional singers or recording studios because it's not like today where you could just go to Amazon and say podcast equipment gives you a list. You just buy it and you're good to go. I think if someone wants to jump into content now, they actually start with a podcast, whereas before it was really being an outlier. So it's different. Harris is right, where it's much cheaper to enter this space. But I would argue it's so much harder to connect with an audience now because your competition is so high. Don't forget, you're not competing just with your competitors, you're competing with like the funny cat video, your friend's wedding photos. You're competing with all of the content we are consuming out there, and it's getting so hard to pierce through all that noise.
Yeah, and then I think like in your question, my angle would be a bit different because like I'm talking to a potential clients and like the company, so obviously we have been doing it in-house like video, but like the way I answer this question would be like, is it really difficult to persuade the B2B companies or like the service companies or brick and mortar businesses to really use videos? It's surprising. It's actually not difficult at all. Maybe it's natural selection because like the way we attract our users in is more about like search marketing. They have intent, so they come. They already are like having existing demands on creating videos. And I would say like everyone around them is always like pushing them to create videos. So I've got a client. Um, he is actually a coach and he is in his mid 50s. And he was so dedicated in making podcast, but it didn't turn out like too well for him because like he told me that, oh, I used so much time to create long form video and he couldn't crack it. But he found me and say, hey, I actually want to make short form content because like my niece and my son is actually pushing me for that. So that is how common these days. I think it's not so challenging to push people into making videos. But what is the difficult part is make them consistent because
Mm,
everyone can start their first video and just get started is of course like it's a good start, but like after 1, 2, 3 weeks, are they still on the behavior of making videos? So that is something that we are tackling as well as a company and as a product.
mhm. Yeah, that's a good point. It's really hard to be consistent. So, um, this is a good segue to my next, the next question I have for you both is, let's say you're a new company exploring video, like, I'm sure people here are thinking about like what they should actually make their videos about. What's your creative process like? How do you come up with an actual content calendar? How do you advise, um, maybe Harris, you can go first here. How do you actually advise clients on how to come up with content?
Right. I think it's like the most macro level I would think about on the strategy layer first. So there are two sides of the topic you can choose from. There is like a push, like push marketing. There's pull marketing. Push is more like there's something you should actually know, but you don't know yet. So I'm pushing my content to you. And the other way around is like pull marketing. It's things that they search for, they already have the intent. So I usually advise like companies or founders to think about whether they want to do push or pull first. Usually push is a bit easier. So for example, there are a few types of content they can actually make. So what I call them is like the video formats. So usually in the content calendar, you want to have different types of video formats. And of course, some are like easier, some are like harder, some take more time, but I'll like list them one by one here. So let's say there are like five main ones I would usually advise. Um, One example is like, let's treat we are like a recruitment company together right now to make it easier. Everyone knows recruitment, how recruitment works roughly. So the first one is talking head videos. Talking head video is more like you showing up yourself in front of the camera and talk about insights. So let's say if it's like something for push marketing, you can talk about like how to hire like a great talent, like very generic. But you can use your own story, your experience in interviewing, whatever, or you can actually talk to potential companies. What are the red flags? Things like that. The second type is search-based videos. So search-based, of course, is pull marketing. It's different from what I mentioned. So usually it begins with how to something. Let's say if they are doing like some interview process and they want to do like a quick test, how to do like a test in an interview. So things like that. It's search-based. And the third type is thought leadership videos. So this video is so much different the first two, because the first two you can go on Instagram, you can go on TikTok, but thought leadership videos typically works the best in LinkedIn, and the other platforms are a bit worse. YouTube is also pretty good. So you want to talk about things that definitely won't go viral.
Mhm.
Or otherwise, it's a surprise. It's about your domain knowledge, something you know deep inside your industry. It's a niche topic, but those who actually understand and those who admire the topic or the content, the value itself would really rate you and build a lot of trust. And the fourth type is skit videos. So there's a company called TLDV. I'm not sure if you guys have watched those videos, but basically they're like role play videos. The same
Mhm.
guy who show up, they're treating himself as like two different person, the product person and the marketing team person. They have an argument and they try to make it like a funny video. And if you're a recruitment company, basically you can say there is like an employee wanna quit the company. Sorry, recruitment company. Let's say there is a person who wanna get an interview, and then the interviewer, which is probably the HR of your company, and how is their conversation like? So you can pretend to be them and make something funny, like weird questions by the interviewee. It could be a great video as well. And the last one is product demos, usually conducted by like product marketing managers, sometimes on the marketing lead as well, if the team is smaller, like one-man band kind of marketing team. You want to talk about your product updates in like a Loom style video with yourself in the bottom right. If you have more fancy editing available in your team with more budgets, you can definitely find the editor to make something even fancier. So sometimes it's relevant to launch videos as well. Like many startups these days have like a big launch video pulling out hundreds of thousands of dollars for just one video, like Cluely, as we all know. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'll say these are like the good video formats that everyone should actually take note of, and it will easily make you have much more ideas into what kind of content you're going for because they are suiting for different kind of use cases.
Cool. Wow. So it's you kind of broke it down into a science of the formats. That's interesting. And Angelica, for you guys, like, is there what's your process like for coming up with content?
So we're not there's not so much a process. I guess we're more like vibes. So I'm a brand marketer. I believe in brand strategy. That is the center of all of our marketing going forward. Your brand is the foundation of how you want to move your company forward. So when you think of the videos to make, I think Harris gave a list of all these great ideas on how to do a video, but it comes back to those videos are a reflection of your brand. So skit videos, I love skit videos. If a company is doing a skit video and I'm looking for that service, like they've already hooked me, that might not work for maybe like a luxury product or maybe a traditional product. So I think you need to really understand your brand and then decide, okay, what videos are we going to go after? Um, at PWL, we understand our brand. We're very much in the academic educational space, and those are the videos that we create. For B2B, I've seen some really creative videos, especially in the clip economy. So that's your reels, your YouTubes, your shorts, that are a great way to hook people to really understand who you are. I would also challenge everyone to think about videos on your website. Those are really important too. I think, if someone commits to watching a 3-minute video on your website, that's a big commitment when you think about just scrolling through things.
Mhm.
So, what is that video going to talk about? I'll tell you what it should not be. It should not be just an overly aesthetic video that doesn't tell the viewer what you do, who you are. I've seen enough of those videos, and I blame Apple for that, where people just want it to look good. It doesn't say any information, and you're losing out on your decision makers with those videos. So, caveat there, make sure to ask yourself, why are we producing this video? If it's on social media, your website, if it's whatever, who's going to watch it? And when they walk away after watching that video, what's their takeaway? Is it a humorous thing that ties back to your brand? Is it a tutorial? Is it about your product and services? That's what I would just challenge people to think about because they jump into the aesthetics. They jump into, oh, it needs to look good, but it does not answer any fundamental questions.
Great advice. Yeah, that's great advice. It's true. Like you make an interesting point. Like if someone goes on your site and they watch a video, like that is a big commitment. That shows intent. Um,
Huge intent. And also,
mhm.
don't use jargon. I can't tell you how many SaaS products I've gone to, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. And I'm trying to look for your services. Just throwing it out there as a marketer. Heads up.
Great advice. Okay, so last question here I've got before we open up to Q&A. So how do you make video drive revenue instead of just views? Um, maybe Angelica, if you want to start on this one, because I actually thought of you in PWL the other day because I I saw someone on a really niche subreddit talk about how they got their tax-free savings account to over $1 million.
Wow.
And, and yeah, crazy. And then they said, I think I need help managing it now. And then the number one comment was go talk to PWL. But like if somebody went to PWL, there would be no, it would probably count as direct traffic. There would be no attribution. And the comment was go talk to PWL. Um, I actually just saw Ben Felix on Diary of a CEO on YouTube. So, like, attribution is hard. It's hard to know where people are coming from. But like, is there anything that you do to make video drive revenue instead of just views?
That's a really great question. I think it comes down to a balance. I want to, everyone listening here is probably interested in creating video and just know obviously views are not the end goal. We get so focused on trying to make a viral video, but it comes down to converting. And what that was when I was brought into PWL, they trusted me with my strategy, the influencer strategy of creating trust with an audience. So when we created videos, if you go back to all of our old videos, there's really a small call to action, maybe at the end. It wasn't overly salesy. It was all about informing the viewer and really creating a community. That's the word we were looking to create was a community, which is funny because if you go to Ben Felix's videos, they make jokes about his hair. They make jokes about him being a basketball player. It's a sense of community and trust, which is what we've built with our videos. So that's our roadmap to getting revenue because now, like you said, if you go on, especially Personal Finance Canada, if you say, hey, I need a financial advisor, I need help, I want to say 8 times out of 10, PWL is mentioned as the place to go. Before I was hired to PWL, we were maybe mentioned on Reddit twice a year. And that's because we used to have a white paper. So because of the content and video strategy that I help implement, we were able to expand our reach. So if you're looking to drive revenue, I would encourage all of you to try to build trust with your audience, regardless on what video you're creating. I mean, I can give you a generic answer of, oh, add a call to action or have a lead magnet there. That's going to work, but that's short-term thinking. You want long-term thinking and you want to build the trust with your audience. What Harris was saying is to be real, be authentic, and be honest. Really be honest. That was another thing we did. We started the podcast, it got really big. We got a lot of sponsorship opportunities, and we made sure that we weren't taking any type of sponsorships. It might be different for this group, for the B2B, but be as honest as you can. Um, yeah, and that's what I would say is really focus on creating that trust and community with your audience. It's not just about selling to them, it's about speaking to them.
Great
Yeah,
advice.
totally. Like the trust building. Like I totally resonate with that because like when I talk to like my users, they like it's pretty surprising. Like they sometimes tell me, or many of them actually tell me, I have watched your videos, and I was not expecting that because like I didn't know they will actually go to the my social media and check out like the content that I created. I always thought it's only for like new users or awareness in a very top level. But in the end, I realized one important thing, which is when the user has a little bit of intent, they want to buy something from you, they actually want to stalk you up in the social terms. They want to check what kind of content you've been producing in the past weeks or months. And when they watch one to two videos, they love it, they watch more videos, then they will build a lot of trust on you. And that's how you shorten the sales cycle. So trust is not just something on a cloud, it's like vague, but when you have trust, Like, let's say when I'm talking to my users, if I've got trust, if they watch my video, when they told me, hey, Harris, I watch your videos in like the first 5 minutes of the call, I immediately know that that person has strong intent of buying and I can close them in one call, not two calls, just one call, because they already know like what they're looking for in the call. So I think that's super important. And the other point is that search-based videos is really good as well. I'm not sure how many of you guys in the audience has already like a search marketer before, but actually there is Google SEO. These days they have AEO and GEO. But one thing people always don't remember is that there is YouTube SEO or video SEO. By the way, it's not only for YouTube, but YouTube is the best platform. We can talk more about it later, but like TikTok, Instagram, they have their own like algorithms, so they push you inside their platform, and these platforms also push you to Google as well. So when people search things on Google about like how to fill in a certain form, then you can actually see um, your video will come up if you produce that content. That's why when you're filling out the taxation form, like how to do a SOC 2, things like that, you always see a person speaking and teaching you how to do that. And in the end, there is like a CTA at the end of the video. And yeah, I would say like the right platform is really important. You don't have to really go viral. Like go viral in the B2B definition, I would say should be a lot more different than the B2C landscape. So B2B go viral. I would say 10K is a pretty viral video, and that's what you need. Like you don't need something irrelevant, as we just mentioned in the previous question. You want something more relevant, educational, evergreen content that is bringing value to your audience. And 10K is not a small number. Like imagine you're going to a football match. There is uh, like 10,000 people in the stadium. And that's how many people you're actually seeing. So yeah, that's really important. And they're like high intent as well. And so in the end, I would say pick the right platform, aim for high relevance video, especially if they are trust building video, search-based video. Search-based video always give you recurring traffic to the video and hence give you recurring traffic to the website. And that's how many great companies like HubSpot and many other SaaS companies I mentioned are also using this way.
Mhm. Awesome, awesome advice. I know we're almost at time here, but I wanted to see if we could go. It was so interesting. If we could go 5 to 10 minutes longer just to answer some of the questions. And just if anyone has any questions, please drop them in the chat right now. I know we saw a couple come through. We'll get to them here. And just while we're waiting for them, we just want to say thank you. We have a couple little offers here from Postbeam. We're going to give 50% off your first month if you just use code video50 at checkout, which expires on June 3rd. So tomorrow at midnight, you can use Postbeam just to help you generate more content, get more leads on LinkedIn. And then Harris also very kindly offered, to maybe Harris, you can talk a little bit about what you guys do at Jupitrr quickly.
Yeah, sure. So at Jupitrr AI, we have launched a product. It's called Video OS. Basically, it's the operating system you need to make your videos fastest and easiest for your company, your marketing team, or if you're a business owner. So it includes everything from like scripting, idea generation, having a content calendar with the right like top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel video topics, etc. So right now, I think what we can do for you guys here is that like I know it's a lot taken in this webinar, it's just
Mhm.
like 30 minutes, but like a B2B video content playbook is something that you will find very useful because you can like study them after the call later, and I'm sure it will make more sense for me. Otherwise, I'll need to speak for like 6 hours straight, which would be super boring for everyone. In this playbook, you can see, some prompts you can put on your Claude or AI. You can generate some good scripts already and have some like good content calendar kind of topics tailored for your use. So you can just DM me on LinkedIn or email me to get the B2B video content playbook with 7 chapters for free.
Amazing. Thanks so much. And then Angelica, I know we don't have a slide for you, but people can follow you on LinkedIn, and I think people should definitely check out the PWL Capital YouTube page, right? There's a lot to learn from there.
Yeah, definitely follow me on LinkedIn if you have a question about marketing. I love talking shop. This is the thing I'm passionate about. So you can always add me on LinkedIn and check out our podcast as well, The Rational Reminder. It's
It's
one of the
really good.
largest financial podcasts in Canada. So
I listen almost every week, so it's really good. It's one of my favorite podcasts. I didn't think I could be, I studied finance, so I'm a little biased, but I didn't think I could be so find like the topic so interesting, but it's really good, like really, really good. Okay, so some of the questions here we'll get to. We had Roger ask, what's the best platform and how to make videos for LinkedIn? So I can answer this because not that I'm biased, but I think Jupitrr is great. Like I highly recommend it. I've tried so many different video platforms, and Jupitrr is one of the ones that does like everything from A to Z. And you can tell like Harris is really passionate about what he does. So definitely check them out. And Roger, I'd recommend if it's something you're thinking about, take Harris up on his offer to have a chat with him. Um, yeah, next question here. Emil
can I
asked,
just,
oh
sorry,
yeah,
can I
yeah, yeah,
jump in on that
yeah,
one?
go for it, please.
So you're talking, the question was, what is the best platform and how to make videos for LinkedIn? So it's going to come back down to who's your target audience. So LinkedIn tends to be like very B2B. We think LinkedIn is the place to be. Yes, you should be posting on LinkedIn. Your decision makers are everyday humans as well. They're on other social media platforms. So I would encourage you to also make short form video. Like again, we're in a clip economy. Um, People know what some content creators look like, and they have no idea what their podcast is called, for example. So I would encourage you to also look at other platforms, but it comes down to who you think your decision makers are and where you think they're going to be hanging out. To make videos for LinkedIn, um, I actually follow a founder on LinkedIn, and he makes these great videos where he's just talking and there's a whiteboard behind him and he talks about whatever he wants. And his most highly engaged videos are videos about his personal life. So what he's done on the weekend, what encourages him to keep going. People really connect with that. So I don't want to discourage you from just being business. Sometimes it's great to kind of show the person behind the mask, even if it's a B2B situation.
Yeah, great advice. Sorry, I missed the first part of the question, the best platform. That's good advice though to find your platform, your channel.
Yeah,
Um,
I also like think the LinkedIn video formats is very different from other platforms as well. So let's say if you're doing like for social like Instagram and TikTok, you can do like viral formats with some text on the video and you just don't need to speak. But on LinkedIn, I think people usually want something more genuine, and I would go a bit nicher on LinkedIn because the people you connect with are usually the right audience. What you want to do is to trigger your first degree audience to like or interact with your video. And second degree is actually less important because if your first degree don't interact with you, you don't even get the chance to do second degree. So yeah, but I've got a bunch of formats like topics and formats that would definitely go much more like higher interaction rate. You can just like DM me and I'll send you like I've got like a diagram in my Figma. I've got a FigJam diagram. I've do some research on my own. If you want that, just DM me and I'll send it over to you.
Emil has asked, have you seen any AI video strategies work in B2B or faceless content in B2B?
Hmm. Faceless content. Um, I would say in most cases, faceless content is something you should avoid. I'll talk about the exceptions later, but the reason why is because in the age of AI, everyone is trying to streamline and make videos like everything super fast as they can, but they forgot about the authenticity, which is the most important thing. If you're doing something AI couldn't replace you, that is the most important point you take away from today. Like, don't do things AI can replicate in a few seconds, but you use AI to replicate the process and make the process faster, but not replacing you on the camera. So yeah, I would say try not to do faceless content if you want to build trust for people to potentially trust you and buy products and services from you. The exception, of course, if you're doing an architectural design and you need like a mock-up thing, and you need some people walk by the area of the building, those people don't really matter. So yeah, you can do faceless content and use the AI avatars to replace those. Or if you're doing something like totally B2C on a B2C product and selling some products on social media, pushing ads and not organic, you can do faceless as well.
Yeah, I want to echo what Harris is saying. It's about creating that connection. So people connect with people. So if you can have someone there, if it's not you, maybe it's someone else in your company that can be that mascot. But it's better to have, I'm also very biased. We're in wealth management, so trust is really high when we create our marketing. Um, and be mindful about AI videos. Really depends on your audience. My audience will clock that, and right away I've lost trust completely with them. So really know the people you're trying to speak to. Some people really like it, but if you can have someone on video, I think that's the best way forward. It's very vulnerable to make video. It's very vulnerable to make content because you are being critiqued by the masses. But I always tell people, I know we have a marketing funnel, I know we have everything. Just have fun with it. At the end of the day, just have fun with making video.
I think that answers the next question. I know Sam had a couple questions here, but I think that answers Sam's question on um, how are AI talking clones doing in B2B on socials. I think we can all agree that they're not there yet, and it's about, going the extra mile to actually create trust, right? I don't want to personally, I don't want to listen to someone's clone. Um, I want to listen to a real human that is going to give me their their true self, right? Rather than something from an LLM that I can just look up myself. But maybe we'll make this the last question here. So just Sam asked how much or actually we'll take two. We'll take Sam, your other question on B2B ads. Let's go. How much is the video OS and Postbeam for 20 people marketing team for a company on average? How much does it cost for video OS and Postbeam? Um,
I think it's the best for you to DM me because like there is very a lot of variations, like what kind of videos you're creating, how frequent you're creating the video, how long is your video, etc. So probably I cannot give anything accurate here. So you can just like find me on LinkedIn.
Cool. On Postbeam, we have our pricing on our site. If you just go to postbeam.ai and you click on the pricing. Um, but yeah, it's and then we charge per user that you're connecting on LinkedIn. Um, and I don't think you would need all 20 marketing people on the team. I'd imagine the same thing for Jupitrr, but right, I think the pricing is kind of similar in a way, right? Um, but Sam, your last question, we'll take this as the last question. It's just what about B2B ads? I see a lot of ads these days, maybe more B2C in terms of video. I'm guessing, right? What do you both think about B2B video ads? Are you running any right now? Are you repurposing video
Sam
content?
asking B2B ads or B2B AI ads?
B2B, let's say B2B
AI
AI
ads.
ads.
I'm again biased. I would not run AI ads. I had a um someone who's close to marketing and wealth doubled down on AI talking head videos, and I really pushed back on that. I said absolutely not. And their kind of thinking was, well, we can pump out 100 videos a day. And I'm like, that would kill my brand completely. That would kill all trust. Imagine going to like an Instagram page and there's such 100 videos of an AI talking head. I personally would not run that. AI is just not there yet. And I think the cultural shift we're seeing is people really want authentic, real creativity. So I would personally lean away from AI ads. I'd rather you run a static image ad than an AI talking video ad. That's my bias, though.
I have the same opinion as Angelica, but let me do like a devil's advocate. If you really, really want to do an AI video first, I don't think an ad would be better for the B2B side. It's actually worse because like it pushed to the super relevant audience, like in the AI these days, so Meta ads or Google ads. So it means that your closest, best potential prospects will see that you are using an AI to talk to them and don't like dare to use your own face to talk to them. So the devil advocate's point is that if you really want to do AI video, you can do something. I'm not sure if it's like how big your company is. If your B2B company is like a really small company, this is applicable. But if your company has more than like three people in the marketing team, like forget what I say now, which is like have an AI UGC content creator, use the same face every time and promote that product, but never ever admit that you are actually using that account to promote your product. But if you're like a bigger company, I would not advise that because there is some risk there. And I'm sure your seniors wouldn't like it. But if you're a startup company with only like 5 people and you're doing B2B SaaS, there's nothing to lose. Startup is always about being scrappy. You can try that. Some friends I know from New York, actually, the founder there actually did really well with AI UGC. I don't know whether their audience is really like high converting, very sticky. I have no information about that. But he told me that he did really convert some users. But again, the risk is on your side. If I were you, would I do it? No, but you can try it if you want to. That's my answer.
Great advice. I agree with both of you. I think yeah, I would be careful with AI ads right now. I think yeah. And if I know Sam, you had another question, but just in the in the interest of time, I know we went 12 minutes over. I'd recommend just setting up a call with Harris, having a chat with him about video, and he'll help you out. Or if you have any questions for Angelica, you can reach out by LinkedIn. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Angelica. Thank you, Harris. It was a pleasure. You shared so much valuable information with everybody today, and I want to thank all of our participants. Thank you for joining. We're going to be sending out the recording after if anyone wants to go back in case you joined late. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day and all the best. Best luck when you're launching video for your business.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.